If they asked me, I could write a book about the way you walk and whisper and look.
Joining us now, we have the author of a book that is out in time for Halloween, very appropriate for Halloween. It's called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods. We're joined today by Hal Johnson, who put this really interesting book together. Joined us by telephone. And Hal, good to talk with you. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. Glad to have you, Doug.
I should say 20 Chilling Tales from the Wilderness. That's the rest of the title. So
that's the full title, yeah.
It fits right in with Halloween. And I understand you're from Queens, right?
That's right.
I grew up in Floral Park, just the next area over, right near Belmont Racetrack. So you're in a former neck of the woods up there. But it's an interesting book. I had a chance to look through it a little bit. Now it's written for kids, right? But I mean, but it's still kind of a Halloween type of a scary book, I should say, right?
Yeah, I wrote it. I kind of wrote it for all ages. I hope that anybody can pick it up and read it, just like anybody can enjoy, a classic Looney Tunes cartoon. But it's pitched towards kids from like 4th, 5th grade up through high school.
And it features, I guess you call them supernatural beasts, right? American folklore. You've created some interesting, creatures of the wild that combine a lot of the different things that different animals have, right? One is...
These are actually I didn't create them. These are genuine American folklore monsters that I've been wove into different stories. They're based. The whole book is inspired by this book by William Cox, who is a forest ranger in Minnesota. He collected lumberjack folklore and wrote a book about the monsters that the lumberjacks used to use to scare greenhorns or scare each other on the campfire at night. And these, I took these creatures and made kind of scary stories about them.
I was going to say some of the names of them. I was trying to get them pronounced right. Hodags, Hugags, Squonks, and Wapaloosum, Wassups, and Wintosers. Did I pronounce any of those right?
Nobody really knows how William Cox pronounced them. He lived so long ago, but that sounded pretty good to me. The Hodag, at least, still is something that people talk about in the northern Midwest. There are statues of the Hodag in places in Michigan.
And what was the one that was kind of jumped out at me? Maybe that's the wrong way to say it, but a snake that's like in a hoop shape, right?
Yeah, the hoop snake. Yeah, don't let it jump out at you. The hoop snake is. It's funny that's a creature that a lot of people tell me they assumed was real, and that they thought that snakes actually could form into a hoop and roll around in order to pursue their prey. It's something that gets talked about so much that it's just folklore, but people really do believe that one.
That one seems like it could be true. Like it could be a snake that could roll itself into a wheel shape, and this one goes up to 60 miles an hour, right? Then with one sting, you turn purple and die.
It's a problem. I'm glad they can't do that. I suppose it's possible that a snake could learn, but we're hoping as humans that it doesn't happen soon.
There's another one. I guess it looks like a baboon too, right? What is it? The aquapelter?
The aquapelter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a baboon-like creature with long arms, and what it does is it rips the arms off of its prey and then holds those arms in its own hands while its skin grows over them so that it becomes an extension of his arm. And after several predations, it has long, multi-elbowed, multi-jointed, whip-like arms. Quite terrifying. I hope that doesn't happen to me.
Now, what was the one? I know you have them from all over North America. You said there's some from the swamps of Florida. What do we have to watch out for down here?
That's the Snolligosters in the swamps of Florida. That is a terrifying one. And he eats shadows. So if he catches you, he'll pierce you he has a spike on his back, and then it'll hold you in the sunlight while you ride on his spike, and then when your shadow is projected in front of it, it will eat that shadow.
Well, I hope we don't have any of those in Sarasota here. I'll keep an eye out.
Keep your eye out, yeah.
Well, it's a fun book, too. I mean, any type of, when you're talking about Halloween, it's supposed to be fun as well. But you get some great illustrations in the book as well. I know you collaborated with somebody to do that, Tom Mead. Is that fun to do that when you write a story and then you get together with the illustrator to draw pictures about it?
It is, and it's really, Tom Mead lives in England, and he's someone that the workman found. So I provided the descriptions to him, and then he produced these amazing drawings, and it really is, it's very exciting to have these things that that you had in your mind, and then to see these depictions of them that are much creepier than I could have done on my own. It's really a tour de force. And what's really extra great is that the cover and many of the illustrations inside glow in the dark. So there's an extra secret picture over or behind the picture that you see, and you turn off the lights, and then this extra secret information pops out at you, and it's an extra terrifying bonus treat.
Yeah, I remember having books like that as a kid, the glow-in-the-dark pages. So I'm glad you brought that back. I hadn't seen that in a long time in a book.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it. I guess I never saw that as a child. So for me, this was fresh and new.
Yeah, I think kids are going to get a kick out of it. Something a little different as they read it. I guess they'll read it hopefully with the lights out, or turn the lights out right after they read it, and then those glow-in-the-dark will pop up, right? That'll be fun.
Yeah, I guess the hope is that you read it under the covers by flashlight, and then when you turn the flashlight off, that goes down to you. Well,
and you said it's based on characters in a previous book, but you wrote your own stories about it. How did you kind of come up with with that? What was your process for coming up with it?
I went through Cox's book, and his book is really delightful. It's an exciting book, and it's available free online. It's in public domain. Mm-hmm. But the creatures in there are so colorful that it kind of makes you want to make up a story about them. And so for each one, I just tried to imagine what would happen if these fearsome creatures actually encountered a human, and what would be the end result. And it turns out the end result is generally a terrifying, grisly death for the human. But monsters have to win sometimes.
Well, I think it's one good thing about this. Is so many kids now, you get them away from the cell phone and the computer for a while and actually read. And get their entertainment that way.
I spent my entire childhood reading, and I can't really make fun of kids who have their noses buried in the phone. I have my nose buried in the book, so I never saw the real world either.
Well, I think that in a way, when you read, your mind, makes the rest of the story up in your mind. You create more to make it even more either frightening or funny, whatever you're reading about, so that it gets the imagination going on both sides, right? Yours and the reader.
Yeah, and I think books are much better than the real world, so I'm not regretting that child.
I agree with you. I think that's we have to encourage that again. Not that there's anything wrong with being on the computer, but read a book once in a while, right?
I agree.
Well, again, it's called 20 Chilling Tales from the Wilderness, Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods. And we've been talking with Hal Johnson today. Great illustrations as well, and perfect for Halloween, and published by Workman. Do you have your own website, Hal, you want to direct people to?
Yeah, you can find me at haljohnsonbooks.com, or follow me on Twitter as Hal Johnson Books.
Great. Hal, pleasure talking to you. Hopefully we can do it again. Thanks for joining us.
Doug. Have a good one.
I'm Stan Brock. 30 years ago, I formed Remote Area Medical to help people overseas. But then we found generations of families in America isolated by poverty from the health care they need. Together, we can take dental, vision, and medical help to 1 million adults and their kids, right here at home in the United States of America.
If you'd like to order the book we're talking about, please go to DougMilesMedia.com and enter the author's name in the Amazon search box. Thank you for listening. Please come back soon for more conversations here at DougMilesMedia.com. This has been a presentation of Doug Miles Media, all rights reserved. You can listen to or download previous programs at iTunes, Stitcher.com, or Doug Miles Media.